Hey, what's going on everybody? Today is Tuesday, February 2nd. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be talking about the targeted EIDL advance or EIDL grant and kind of what's going on there, what you need to do, what you need to know, that kind of thing. But first, please subscribe to my channel if you're new here to stay up to date with everything going on right now with the pandemic. And also be sure to smash that like button to, help me out there. And leave me a comment below. I'd love to know how you're doing and how your business is doing. All right. What is the Targeted EIDL Advance? It is a new program that was just passed in the Economic Aid Act in late December. And basically it's going to allow folks who already applied for the EIDL to receive up to $10,000 of the EIDL grant if they haven't done so already. Okay, so that's important. You have to have had already applied by December 27th to the EIDL program in order to even qualify for this. Okay, so what do you need to do first? Basically, at this point, you don't need to do anything because the SBA is going to reach out to you via email and basically get in contact with you to see if you are eligible for this program. And people who are eligible are people with businesses that are located in a low-income community and people who have experienced at least a 30% reduction in revenue over an 8-week period, starting after March 2nd, 2020. Okay, so those are some of the main qualifiers there. So the SBA is going to reach out to two groups of people. The first group of people are people who applied for the EIDL advance and received it already, but let's say they received less than $10,000. So if they received anywhere between $1,000 and $9,000, the SBA will reach out to these people first. Okay, and once they do that, they're going to find out whether or not you are located in a low-income community. They're going to verify your address and all that, and then they're going to verify whether or not you had a 30% reduction in revenue that I just mentioned. So if you're one of these people, you're in the first wave of emails, and those emails are supposed to be coming out starting yesterday. So they estimate it's going to take a few weeks for these to actually be sent out. We all know how long it took the first time around for this stuff to get processed. So, just be patient with them and they will definitely come out to you. The second group of people that they're going to reach out to are people that applied for the EIDL but did not receive the advance because they ran out of funding. Okay, and for this group of people, you had to have applied by December 27th, 2020. Okay, so if you're one of these people, you applied for the EIDL, you never received the grants, you will be getting an email also, but you're going to be getting an email after the first group. So the first group's wave might take a few weeks. So if you haven't received the EIDL yet, you are still, just be patient. You're in their list to email, and you will probably qualify for the full $10,000 advance, given that you are in a low-income community, given that you have a 30% reduction in revenue. And one final thing for this group of people is that your company has to have under 300 employees. And it's kind of similar to the PPP. I believe that the first round of PPP, your company size had to be under 500 employees. Now it's under 300 for a second draw. And I think that's what's going on here with the second draw EIDL advance. Okay, they just want to target smaller companies. So what is one thing that you shouldn't do? You shouldn't apply again if you already applied. Personally, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. They're just gonna say, hey, we received a duplicate application, we're not gonna accept this application. But if you have like a ton of people doing that, you might actually bog down the system, you might bog down their processes, and it might take even longer for you to actually get your advance, especially if you had already applied. Okay, so the SBA will not accept duplicate applications, and really all you got to do is just wait for the email. Okay, and if you have questions about this, you can contact them directly, and I'll show you how to do that later in this video. Now, what this means, unfortunately, is if you haven't already applied for the EIDL, then you don't qualify for this new wave of EIDL advance. And that's because this is just for people who have already applied and who either got partial advance or none at all. Okay, but this is not for new applicants, especially because they just want to assist the people who really needed the help the first time around who didn't get it. okay? So they might release another program for a true second draw EIDL. Who knows? Who knows? But at this point, if you haven't already applied, you don't qualify. And I know that could be really disappointing, because obviously the EIDL Advanced program, I think, ran out of funding in July. And obviously people who were just looking for the Advance probably heard about that and just got discouraged and didn't apply at all. You know, because if you applied, then you would just be considered for the loan, not the Advance. So I know that that's very unfortunate for a lot of people, I'm sure. You hear that the funding's out, don't even bother applying, because why would you apply? And now you don't qualify for this round. So I'm sorry if you're one of those people. I feel for you, I really do. I just hope that there's gonna be another rounds coming out. You know, the Biden administration, they seem fairly aggressive, or at least the Democrats seem fairly aggressive with all the available funding that they want to bring to the table. So we'll see what happens. So now I'm just gonna give you a little bit more general information on what you need to know, and maybe what you need to do, or what you need to prepare for while you're waiting for this email to come out. All right, so the first thing is the revenue reduction. What is the SBA gonna ask for? They're gonna ask for probably your financial statements or bank statements, maybe even tax returns, okay? Those are some common things that they're gonna ask for. Maybe 1099s if you're an independent contractor, that kind of thing. Or maybe pay stubs, you know, if you're an independent contractor. So for revenue reduction, you're gonna have to furnish some kind of proof to the SBA in order to prove that. Another thing to keep in mind is that the EIDL Advance, because of the new Economic Aid Act that was just passed, the EIDL Advance will not reduce your PPP forgiveness amounts, okay? So just another thing to keep in mind, if that was something that was kind of holding you up or you were on the fence about, then don't worry about that anymore. What can you use the EIDL Advance for? You can generally use it for normal operating expenses like rents, utilities, payroll, contractor expenses, inventory, you know, those kinds of things. Just your normal operating costs. What you probably shouldn't use it for is for owner distributions or dividends, that kind of thing, okay? Now, with that being said, in my opinion, I really don't think they're gonna come back and check up on these little $10,000 advances and what they're used for. I really don't. But why don't you just err on the safe side, because this is free money that the government is giving out, and you know, I always think there's some strings attached to it. You know, with this kind of stuff, there's never no strings attached. So why don't you just use it for what it's intended to be used for? One other thing to keep in mind is the timing on this, okay? So I mentioned that it's gonna take a few weeks probably for the SBA to get all the emails out. So how long after that will you be expecting funding? Well, the SBA on their website is saying it could take up to 21 days to process the actual grant. So once you get the email and you furnish all the proof and documentation that you need to prove that you're eligible, after that, it could take up to 21 days to get the advance. Now, this is much different from the wording in the CARES Act that promised 3 days. And this most recent act actually changed the CARES Act to say 21 days. So yeah, you can expect up to 3 weeks. So we're talking, you know, at least a month to maybe 2 months out before, you know, most people get their funding this round around. And lastly, if you have questions about this specifically for the SBA or how it works or anything like that, they did post an email address that you can contact. It is targetedadvance@sba.gov, and I'll put that in the description below for you. And basically, if you have any questions about this specifically, it's probably best to reach them. I get a lot of questions too, and I do my best to answer them. But for this kind of thing, try reaching out to them first. They might have better information. I know it's probably gonna take them forever to respond to you. So if that doesn't work, just leave me a comment below and I'll try to do my best, okay? That's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. If you're new here, again, I'd love it if you consider subscribing to my channel. And also, if you found this video helpful, smash the like button. Get this video shared with your friends and family who you might think may find it helpful. And of course, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker.